going to call this Pawnee Business Council special meeting to order at September 30th, 2024, 5:45 p.m. And at this time, just to note, the invocation was given by Dr. Evans this evening and has already prayed for the meal as well. We'll move on to item number 2, roll call, declaration of a quorum.
Misty Nuttall.
Here.
Jordan Canuho.
Oh.
Here.
George Gardapi here. Carol Chapman.
Here.
Cynthia Butler.
Here.
Donna Hare.
Tutaku.
Gene Evans.
Here.
Sammy Kimball.
Here.
Next item we have is item number 3, approval of agenda. Are any changes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Secretary Gardapi. Is there a second?
I'll second.
If we all second.
I'll second.
Got a second by Dr. Evans.
Okay, there you go.
Let's call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho.
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman.
Yes.
Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare.
Aho.
Gene Evans.
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, item number 4, Pawnee Business Council travel report and request. Are there any requests this evening? Okay. Okay, I don't hear any. Item number 5, Pawnee Business Council committee reports. Is there any committee reports this evening? I know we have budget recommendations this evening. No reports. Okay, item number 6, old business. Number 1, discussion and/or action on memorandum of understanding with the Pawnee Seed Preservation Society. This was tabled from the last meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to deny the memorandum of understanding with the Seed Preservation Society.
I got a motion on the floor to deny the MOU with the Pawnee Seed Preservation Society. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Councilwoman Kimball. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho.
Yes.
George Gardapi, no. Carol Chapman.
Yes.
Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare.
Kaki, no.
Gene Evans.
No.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
2, 3, 4.
4 to 3, motion carries.
Got a vote of 4 noes and 3 yeses, so motion does carry. Item number 7, new business. Item number 1, Cultural Resources Division update. We'll be providing the update. Good evening. Noah. Mhm.
Things and trying to raise money and things like that. So we had a dance and some other activities on Labor Day weekend, as we all remember that. We had that, and it's a real fine time, real fun, a lot of good responses to that. So that was one. And then we wanted to have a walk. We wanted to have a walk, kind of like what our old folks did 150 years ago. And so we thought about trying to cross the bridge over there at the Arkansas by Ralston. But anyway, that didn't seem to go well with ODOT, and so we said, well, that's all right. We'll try another route. So anyway, so we want to choose Skeety of the statue out there at Skeety. And so with that being one of our, that was named after one of our bands, our largest band, the Skeety, so that's what we thought of that place. And so we chose October 14th, that's Indigenous Day. And so that's a holiday, and so we thought we could get a better turnout on that time. And so that's what we want to do, and we want to invite you all, we want to let you know, and then invite you all if you want to walk or ride or whatever you want to do, you know, got a bike or you got a horse or you just got a car or whatever you want to do or walk with us. We're going to have a trailer there for those that want to ride. So we start over there at Skeety and then take that back road here, the old like Quapaw Road, and then come over here towards the Ronnie Justice's and Linda's place, and then back around here, circle around here, and then end up at the Roundhouse. So we got a couple of spots there too, about halfway point, like a little stop or water break, snacks, things like that. We want to have one right here at Rome Chief, another place where we could stop and take a break or water or whatever folks need. And so we want to do that, and then when we end up at the Roundhouse, well, we want to invite you all over there as well. We have a small meal. It's not going to be the big traditional meal, but it'll be a meal. And we want to give you time if you want to make an expression to our people and all who's ever there. Each of you could do that, or you could choose one, or however you want to do, but we want to allow our council to say something on that day for us, as well as the Chiefs Council as well. So wanted to just let you know that. And so the other one is the 2024 Pawnee Rickeraw Reunion. The reunion, as you probably all know, we were one tribe with those Rickeraw people here, maybe 400 years ago or somewhere back in there. And so one of our reunions we had, and this started in 2016 along with CRD. And so when one of our reunions we had in Nebraska, a question was brought up to them, were we all Rickeraw and we became Pawnee, or were we all Pawnee and you became a Rickeraw? So we threw it out to them. They said we were all Pawnee and we become a Rickeraw. So they say where they were at, that village got too large where they couldn't take care of all the folks, and so they have a real keen story about all that. But anyway, it just got too large, so they decided to move north. So I really think maybe they were part of the Skeety band, because we asked them later on what's their word for Pawnee. I said, our word for you is a Stedahay. What's your word for Pawnee? And their word for Pawnee is Skeety. So I said, that must be what they were at one time, Skeety. And so anyway, that's coming up on that weekend just before that walk. And so we already had the walk first. We had that date set first. We had that like in May or June. And so then we've been contacting them and raising money and getting donations, not only from our folks, but from our different departments. And so we tried to do something really good for them. Those that have been up there before around those folks, whether it's their powwow or the reunion, they really, really, really treat us good. I know they got the resources for that, but even without that, they really treat us good with their hospitality. So that's what we want to do for them. So we got things planned, and there's a flyer out on the agenda throughout the days and all that, you know. And again, you all are on it. You all are going to feed them a meal, and I appreciate that very much. You know, that's what you want to do. And so we raised enough money where we're going to get them motels over here in Perry. I think that's all taken care of with the help of Jamie. And so we got them a hotel over there at the Holiday Inn, right there at I-35 and Highway 64. And so that's what's going to take place there. And so those Rickeraws, they've come here before, and they brought a busload, maybe 30 or 40 of them. But this year they must have really like Pawnee for some reason. So they say they're going to bring 2 buses and at least 80 people. So I'll give you all a heads up for that too. So don't make a meal for 30 or 40 people. It's gonna be at least 80, probably 100, you know, because our Pawnees are gonna show up too, you know. Our hungry Pawnees are gonna be there, so I wanted to just let y'all know that and invite you to take as much part of that as you want to, you know. The meals, all the meals. Like I said, we have an agenda there. I think you have the flyer there, so you can see what's all going to take place. They're going to be here that Thursday. They're going to be here. We're going to feed them a meal and then send them back. Let them rest up. Then we start right after that Friday. Then we have a full agenda for them all Friday, all Saturday, and then Sunday a dance, a dance there at the, hopefully outside at the campground, weather permitting. If not, it'll be at the roundhouse. And so that's what I come to let you all know. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
So where are the mills going to be?
Rum Chief.
Road Chief?
Road
Okay.
Chief, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, so the kitchen will be open if you need it, but all the meals will be over there. So we've been telling the other organizations that are going to be feeding as well, except for the two large meals, which is Saturday afternoon. That's going to be sponsored by our ceremonial dance committee, followed by the young dog dance. And that's going to be on Saturday afternoon, and then the Sunday meal will also be hopefully at the campgrounds with weather permitting. That's going to be taken care of by CRD. Okay.
Is that information on the meals, is that on the flyer too? I'm pretty sure it is, right?
Is it? No, we could send you that though. We have an agenda on all that, what happens, who's feeding who, you know, but I know there's, every meal is taken care of by different organizations, and that's a real help to us, because that's what we were saying when we're trying to, how much money do we need to raise, and we thought, well, we probably can't do it. We'll need to reach out to different folks, and we actually had like extra folks wanting to help out. So we have one group that's going to like buddy up with another organization to feed the Rickaroos on that day. So we're looking forward to it. We sure are to have that. When we were up there last year, they showed us something real special to them, real cultural part of their traditions, and that's their one of their bundles that they still have. They have it in their museum, kind of a private room in the back. And so we thought that was really something special. And so with that, we wanted to do something special for them. And so one of the things that to us is special to us is that young dog dance that we still have, that we only have, that no other tribe, no other group of people, as far as we know, has that young dog dance or anything similar to that. So that's our special, something special culturally to them. And then as you see on that, like Friday night, I think we're taking them down to the Stone Wolf after we feed them here, and then let them have fun, hopefully spend a lot of money, you know. And then Saturday evening, we're calling it Family Fun Night. And so with that, we want to have a bingo, probably in the small room of the Rum Chief after the meal. And then in the evening, we have some of our local folks, local talent that has guitars and things like that. So we're going to have some musicians come and kind of entertain them that way as well. So if any of you are karaoke folks, and I know Doc's a heck of a singer, so if anybody wants to chime in or take part, well, let us know. We'll put you on the agenda. So that's what we want to do Saturday evening. So kind of have a little bit of a lighthearted fun as well as a cultural part of this reunion. So that's what I wanted to advise y'all. And I wanted to make sure I got the word out to you, a special invite.
Right. Thank you for that, and I know that everybody's getting excited for that as well. You know, been contributing to the fundraisers and the raffles and the dances, you know, so I'm glad that we're able to have a small part in, you know, what's going on. So thank you for your update. Any questions? Any more questions?
Yes, ma'am.
So, you know, like the Pawnee Wichita's, that was their last ceremony. The Wichita's, they said, are Huskahada. how about, they still have their ceremonies, right? Arikaras?
I'm a little hard of hearing, Donna.
Oh, do the
so-
Arikaras still have ceremonies? Yeah.
That word is a loosely word that they use, you know. So like, they could say their dance is a ceremony, you know, but is our veterans dance, is our dance we had on Labor Day, was that a ceremony? I'm gonna say no, so I'm gonna say no on them. But they do have their bundles. That's probably their most sacred thing. And they take them and they open them up, I think. They gather them up, those bundle keepers, and they do that in the springtime. And then they have that, the corn, I think the mother corn, and they have a roasting and a harvesting and all that in the late summer that they still do. That's part of their, whether that's a ceremony or just a strong tradition that they still have with their people. Just like us, where they're trying to hang on to their language, and so they got a good language program just like ours, and some of their language folks are going to be here, and I think it's that Friday we're going to have a time for them as well, language, kind of a cultural exchange with their language program. Find out a lot of their words that are same as ours, and sometimes we can't find a word, and we have to ask them if they have a word or a phrase that could fit what we're looking for. And they've been the same way, so we want to keep that bond strong as well. All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes.
Okay, that takes us to, under new business, item number 2, approval of resolution 2458, Pawnee Nation Museum bylaws revision.
I'll take this one. This one came from the council, but it also did go through Governing Documents Committee. They did review this in 2021, and I think that it was requested that it be sent back to the museum board with additional revisions, but it never came back to this level. So we've been trying to appoint some museum board members, and there was a little stipulation in their bylaws that restricted them to only 2 terms. So we wanted to take off that restriction. So we are making more than just this change. I did make some format changing in there, and because the sections were done as Roman numerals, but then the sections were like 9.2, 8.2 instead of Roman numeral dot Roman numeral. You know what I mean? The format just didn't flow, so I did make those changes as well. I don't know. I don't think that was in the packet. I think just the other suggested change was going to be in there. So what we're doing is changing subsection 4.3 to read as follows: directors may serve unlimited consecutive terms, and the governing document is making that recommendation. And I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2458.
I'll second.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Butler to approve resolution 2458, second by Councilwoman Kimball. Are there any questions for the discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, item number 3, budget committee recommendations.
Yes. Madam President, I'm on here to make the budget recommendations from Budget Committee.
Okay, item A, approval of 4152 Native Connection budget mod.
Yes. Budget modification number 1. This is for the Native Connections program under Mike Ortiz, and the funding source is SAMHSA, and the amount of the request is $250,000, and it is to approve year 5 budget that started July 31st, 2024. And this year 5 budget needs to be approved because at the time there is a no approved budget. So attached are the line items and the detailed statement of award from SAMHSA, all the letters and attached documentation here for the award, and it's the year 5 of the original grant. So if anybody,
Are there any
Has it-
questions?
if not, I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Okay. On the, who's over that? Mike, we'll need to notify Mike that the authorized official needs to be updated with the funding agency.
Oh, I saw that, yes, yes.
Okay.
I did see that. Glad you brought that up.
All right, if no further questions, discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Treasurer Chapman, is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Councilwoman Butler. Let's call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Item B, approval of 2146 Community Service Block Grant Budget Mod Number 4.
Yes, President, this is to add in a final amount of $19 to the current budget. It's very small. It's just some housekeeping to put it in there, and attached is the line items, and as you can see, it's been put in assistance, the $19, bringing the total to from $3,256 up to $3,275. And attached is the justification and the state's awarding amounts. So all the documentation is here. So if there's any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
The motion,
I'll
is there a
second.
second? Did you get, who got first? Dr. Evans. Let's call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Item C, approval of 4130-190 Indian Health Service Medical Equipment and Generator Budget.
Yes. This is some funding that our ED requested, Brian Kirk, and it's through Indian Health Service Self-Governance. And the amount is $292,761. And this is for the purpose of buying equipment. And the funding is going to be used to purchase medical equipment. I'm not going to try to pronounce these names here. I can get beds, bassinet, laboratory equipment, portable whirlpool units, linen carts, patient monitoring equipment, x-ray systems, surgical instruments, various scopes, exam room equipment, automated data processing devices directly connected to or part of a medical device system, and the generators for the behavioral health facility. And it is creating a new budget so we can start spending, and attached are the line items, and as you can see, it is all in capital equipment for the purchase of these needed items for the center in the amount of $292,761. So if there's no, go ahead.
Any questions for Treasurer Chapman on this budget? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Got a motion to approve by Treasurer Chapman, seconded by Dr. Evans. Let's call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Item number D, approval of resolution 2459, 2025 federal and state budget approvals.
Yes, President. This is the resolution which needs to be approved today. This is to approve the Pawnee Nation 2025 federal and state budgets totaling $6,318,893. And as you can see, all the federal awards are listed, and we have a state amount added in this time of $30,788. And this is some money from the state of Oklahoma that was awarded to us and it's the Promoting Safe and Secure Families. And it is money that aligns with our objectives is why we were selected for this. So the grand total of the two is $6,318,893.
President Nettle.
Yes.
I just have a recommendation for this one because it does state in the third whereas that the budgets will be approved and sent to council by October 1st, and that is fiscal policy, but we're neglecting or we're not doing anything about tribal budgets yet. So if we could add something where the Pawnee Business Council does approve for an extension for tribal budgets to maybe November 1st or December 1st. I don't know how long it's going to take for tribal budgets to get approved, but we need to do a continuing resolution for it for the extension. And I would assume we just add it to this. That way, it takes care of it and it extends it, and then when we bring the tribal budgets back, then they can be approved. That's my only recommendation.
Treasurer, do you have a timeline when the tribal budgets will be completed?
We're hoping by October 31st, but I would say November 1st.
Maybe mid-November, November 15th?
Yes, that would be a good time because we're already, yeah, that would be good, President.
Okay. So that will be the third whereas. Is there any further discussion? I have one in the fifth whereas. The treasurer of the Pawnee Business Council and the Budget Committee will monitor the budgets. If we can change that for it to read the treasurer of the Pawnee Business Council assisted by the Budget Committee.
Yes.
Just because I don't want it to appear that the treasurer and the Budget Committee have the same authority.
Okay. Yes.
And then in the final whereas, if we can change that budgets in the final line to the lowercase to keep it consistent with the rest of the document. Any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2459, 2025 federal and state budget approvals and tribal budget continuing resolution
I'll make that motion
with changes.
with changes.
I'll second. This is Jordan.
Okay, got a motion on the floor to approve by Councilwoman Kimball, second by Vice President. Let's call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. For presenting. Treasurer Chapman, I know that you're getting ready for the Finance Consortium, so you will be excused at this time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep, buddy. Thank
New
you.
business number 4, approval of resolution 2460, PTDC, Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation, First Secure Community Bank Loan Extension.
I'm not for sure who's
Anyone
presenting on this,
You want to present?
but I have a request on the resolution. And it's just to change tribe to Pawnee Nation, or to add just nation. on some of the spots that are in there.
Where are you at, Cynthia?
We could go to the first now therefore be it resolved on behalf of the tribe of the Pawnee Business Council, or on behalf of the tribe, the Pawnee Business Council. I just think that it should read on behalf of the Pawnee Nation, the Pawnee
Yes.
Business Council approves the amendments.
Agreed.
And it's throughout the document in the prayer sections where it says
Agreed.
tribe or tribes.
I agree as well.
Thank you.
Are there any other changes? And just for clarification, this was the language from the first
And also in
approval,
that,
correct?
that fourth whereas, where it says PTDC is governed by its tribal articles of incorporation. I think they're called Pawnee Nation Articles of Incorporation. They're the business articles, correct? It's not the Corporation Act. Just want to make sure we get our documents correctly named.
Of course, yeah.
If we could just check the name of that.
Anything else?
And just one more comment. I just thought it was a lot of words to repeat, that there's an extension. I know that there's a lot of other little things, and I don't know if the Attorney General could help with the clarification of some of this. But down there at the second to the last, be it further resolved, it says that the Pawnee Business Council hereby resolves not to enact or permit the enactment of any resolution or other action of the tribe which would be inconsistent with or contrary to the tribe's or PTDC's representations or obligations under the loan documents. I get that they're talking about the maturity and about, the documents itself, but it was just a little confusing to me on what we would enact or what they're trying to stop us from enacting.
Right.
And why it would be therefore mentioned in a resolution that is, to us, is almost like law. Yeah, like something that, I don't know. I don't know if that, I don't know. I just had questions. I don't know if there can be any clarification or why TDC or a representative isn't here to clarify that, if they know. That would be, I should have asked in the emails, but I read this today. Sorry.
I think it's just a way of saying that we won't pass anything that contradicts what's in the loan documents. Yeah, I don't know if all that wording necessarily needs to be in there, but it seems like that's what it's,
It's a little broader than that, and I think that's what's bugging.
It feels tricky.
yeah, well, that's why I'm saying I don't know that all of that. Hereby resolves not,
Which one are we looking at?
Is it necessary to have that?
well, I think it's like a guarantee or something to the bank to just state that once we sign the loan documents, we're not gonna pass something that's gonna diminish or jeopardize, what's in the loan documents. So I think it's just I know there's a term for it, I can't think of it right now.
Has this been reviewed by AG Vance?
Well, isn't this this is the language that was used in the first resolution. This is actually just extending the loan.
I think I mentioned it then that it was a little wordy too. I don't know. I mentioned things and then,
You nailed it on the head.
I'm good with it if
Not
it's
too
been
bad.
reviewed by the Attorney General and he's okay with it, with the language. I could be good with it. I just wanted a little bit of clarification on what they think we're trying to do. You know what I mean? I didn't know who all was on the.
Good evening, all. This
Yes.
is Aiden. I was just going to pop in and say I did review this document, and I agree with Madam President's basically synopsis of the provision. I think it's a lot more normal for a contract than a resolution. Doesn't really change anything in the resolution, but I will say, as I don't have any problem with that language being in there. Madam President's correct on the interpretation, but I will say, legally speaking, I don't know that you all can actually bind a future council or committee, so to speak, in your actions or conduct But
We can take it out. We can legally if we wanted to, and it would have no precedence over.
Would it be, I don't know if you heard Councilwoman Butler, but can we just take this language out, or will that have any effect on the impact of the resolution, or is that something that is binding to us
well,
to have it in there?
it would have, I mean, it has no negative impact on it doesn't change anything in the law for sure. The law would stay the same with the resolution being passed. It would really just be a question of if the bank giving the loan extension would accept that provision being deleted, or if that's, they presented it that way and need it that way for some reason for bank compliance. But I don't know the answer to that. But as far as the nation's concerned, yeah, deleting that would be perfectly fine.
Well, because the be it further resolved right above it says that, the tribe is a signatory party. Those documents shall become legal, valid, and binding obligations of the tribe enforceable in accordance with their terms, which is the loan terms. So I would assume that that would be, to me, sufficient enough, because it's already telling that we're going to do that in the, but whereas, like I said, it's just a little wordy to me. It's just, I'll go with what the council, I would go with what the council would like to do.
What's the consensus of the council?
Right.
Well, I get the issue, and it's a smidgen uncomfortable. Having said that, we've already done it, I guess, with these words before, and it I guess, reasonably comfortably went through at that time and over these last years. So I would be happy on leaving this as is.
Just leaving it as is.
Yes, ma'am.
If it's been legally reviewed, and it has, and there's no issues with it, I would leave it.
Sure.
So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion with the consensus of the council of leaving it as is, because since we did, and I'll make the motion. I can agree with that. It's just, like I said, I really encourage us to look at these whenever we bring them to this level and whenever we do things, because if we did pass it, and I think I remember saying that it was wordy last time, but it just, I get overrode sometimes on these, but I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 2460
With changes?
With changes.
with changes.
Got a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Butler. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Dr. Evans. No further discussion. We'll call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gard, yes. Carol Chapman.
Oh, she's excused.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I knew that. Just checking, y'all. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Uh-huh.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, item number 5, approval of resolution 2461, land allocation, economic development manufacturing project. Yes. Mr. Kirk.
Hello, council. So this one is, let me pull it up. What this is just putting some land allocation for a project that we're working on. So this land is, I guess, north of the railroad tracks, a little more east of the lagoons. It's about 40 to 50 acres is what we're looking at allocating for the purpose of building a manufacturing facility there. So this is going to help us move into the next phase as we're putting together a federal grant, and having this land allocation just shows that you got the support from the nation. Give us enough time to gather the funds to help bring this to fruition. So this is just I guess a 5-year term. So it's just, and after the 5 years, if it's not completed, it just goes back to the property for best interest of the nation. So that's what this is for. Then we put the latitude, longitude, so you know exactly where it is, and I attached a map to show you which little plot that we're looking at.
Are there any questions for Mr. Kirk?
No.
And this has already gone through Land Management and Property Committee, and they've recommended approval. I do want to note, thank you for putting that 5 years in there, because a lot of the projects, the resolutions don't have that ending date in there. And so it's, you know, in perpetuity. If no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution 2461.
I'll make a motion to approve 2461.
Got a motion on the
I'll
floor, is there a
second.
second? Is that Vice President?
I'll second. This is Jordan.
Okay. Let's call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman. Never mind. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans.
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, item number 6, approval of resolution 2462, land allocation, Pawnee Business Council Economic Development.
Yeah, that's me. Is it me? It's me. Okay, so basically, the new bylaws for the Tribal Development Corporation has taken over on the economic development portion to be determined by the Pawnee Business Council. This resolution determines that 20 acres north of Stonewolf Casino will be determined wholly and completely by the Pawnee Business Council as far as economic development goes. So that's what this resolution is about, and are there any questions?
You want to do the changes, or?
Oh, there is-
I emailed the changes out in the third to the last whereas was changed.
Did you get those changes, Jamie?
I CC'd the stuff on it, yes.
Okay.
And
So
then, but we're just changing the word,
Second to
hereby-
the last whereas.
is hereby designated,
Yeah.
or designating. And I think those changes were made inside there.
Yeah, they should already be changed, but if not, we have a record of it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve this resolution with changes being made.
Got a motion on the floor to approve resolution 2462 with changes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a second on the floor by Dr. Evans. Any further discussion?
President Ellis, this is Jordan.
Yes.
Only thing that I do have a question about is that, the articles have been revised to basically do the economic development outside of TDC. They're just focused now on gaming. But they also have the ancillary businesses, like the Post, Travel Plaza, those kind of things. I know they talked about utilizing some of that acreage for a hotel, which I would presume is going to be part of their ancillary businesses as well. And then also too, if there's an entertainment venue or something like that, I would assume that's going to be the same thing with that. I know they've been doing like certain things out there already. That's the only thing I don't want to hamstring them from being able to still do the things that they're trying to do out there with that. I don't know if we want to add a provision that maybe they need to come to this body and request those
Well, the way I saw it is
certain
that-
acreage.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Vice President. And the way I saw that is that if they did have an idea for economic development, or even if we have acreage for an office building being built out there in the future, the final determination would be the Pawnee Business Council anyway. So that's why we wanted to do this for now.
If you'll notice in the last whereas too, it still leaves it open that the land is basically just designated for economic development projects
As determined.
as
Yeah, what the.
deemed by the Pawnee Business Council.
Yeah, I think we changed it to be solely developed by the Pawnee Business Council, I think. Is that what that was up there, the changes?
That's what I see in the
No.
recent one that was sent out.
That's not the resolution.
Oh, it's not.
No, it was sent by George, right before the meeting.
I'm looking at the one that was sent at 5:46.
Yeah, that looks like the right one.
Yeah, that's it.
And basically, it just says that economic development projects as directed and designated by the Pawnee Business Council for an indefinite period.
Did you have any further comments, Vice President?
No, I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading the right one. So the last whereas, it says agrees to establish the aforementioned property to be solely developed by the Pawnee Business Council. Is that the right one that we're
Yes.
looking at? Okay. So if they decided to move forward on a hotel, I mean, I wasn't even thinking about an office building. To me, that's not really business per se. I was just thinking like that, or some kind of venue that they're wanting to do out there. They would have to come to this body to request that, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's correct. And as you guys know, the board right now is going to be replaced, and it's been really hard to get a meeting with them right now. So, I mean, but this is all carries for the future too. It may not even be this body. But we just wanted to have that so it's not developed until we have a say-so.
Councilwoman Hare or Councilwoman Kimball, do you have any concerns with how that process will work with TDC? I mean, if
Yeah,
they're,
it really kind of.
if they're needing future land designations, is there something that's already developed to let them know, you know, if you want to, you know, have some kind of land allocation, or if you have plans, what's the process for them to have it come through to the business council? I think that's
Well,
what we're missing right now.
I think what,
Yeah.
what the rub is for me is that last sentence, you know, to be solely developed by the Pawnee Business Council. You know, we don't want to stymie our businesses. You know, it's kind of a very touchy thing.
I don't mean to sound like a dictator, but I mean, we could reword it any way we want to while we're here.
Okay.
It's just
Okay,
that
I actually liked it the way it was written before.
previously.
Yeah. The Pawnee Business Council is allocating the land described for economic development projects as deemed by the Pawnee Business Council.
Okay, I like that one too.
Yeah, that's the first one that we had. And I wouldn't have an issue with that, but I just don't want to appear that we're, you know, putting our thumb down and holding everybody down.
Yeah.
You know, if something happens really cool, you know, if we get our business, you know, in alignment with their business or whatever it is, you know, hey, great.
I agree with that
Yes.
statement.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Hare?
I agree with Vice President Canujo and with Councilor Kimball. And the one thing that I would really hope to see as we move forward is coordination and collaboration.
I agree with that statement as well. I mean, I would love to work with TDC. It just hasn't happened as much.
One last thing, communication.
And I think to kind of initiate some of that, I mean, if this is how the process is going to work, then we do need to come up with something, some kind of protocol, written protocol to give to them to say, you know, like I said, you know, should you have future developments that you want to engage in, this is the process for receiving a land allocation. And, you know, that last sentence too, I know we're over that, but that kind of, I didn't agree with that either, because then it just puts it solely on our shoulders to do that, is what it seems like, instead of, you know, our planner or our tribal development coordinator. It's like solely the business council. So,
I don't have a problem.
yeah.
I don't have a problem keeping the wording the way we received it originally.
On the the last whereas. Okay, I think we have that noted, so we want to entertain a motion to approve, oh, we did do that with changes. Vice President, are you good with that?
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to just kind of just put that out there. I mean, I'm all for Secretary Gardapi. I'm all for what we're trying to do and everything else. I just didn't want to like kind of, hold things up if they had anything, which I mean, I agree with you. I mean, there hasn't been anything that's been done or anything like that, but I don't want to, stop anything that they're still working on plans like that. Even if we do have a new board seated and everything else, I want their business to continue to move forward as normal kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's good.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to make sure you got your questions and issues clarified. Let's call for the vote.
Okay, Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol, never mind. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh,
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, item number 7, discussion and/or action on 2024 American Indian Exposition donation.
President, I can, or I don't know if somebody else was trying. Okay. I know we received the request from the American Indian Expo, I think last week, and we discussed it in our work group that we would like to donate to this, to the teen girls category, and then also with that, I'll also acknowledge our Pawnee Nation Princess, Ms. Cora Pratt as well, along with that donation. And so I know the council mentioned that, and just bringing that to this body just so that we have that as far as voted on to go ahead and do.
So is this designation, is this being paid directly to the American Indian Exposition, and what's the funding source? Our
It's gonna-
PBC
yeah.
budget?
Yeah, as PBC budget, I think in the donation line item is what
Okay,
what I was believing we were going to do, and then yes, directly to them.
and what's the amount?
It is going to be 1,000. Is that the right? Let's see. I thought it was more than that, Jamie. Let me see if I can find the.
I think we used the donation line item for the veterans, for homecoming. So I don't think
The
we have
remainder?
anything.
The remainder that's in the
Okay.
line item?
I want to recall, yes, because we had a little bit left to add to their donation request, and we fulfilled the rest of the remainder of that. I can't remember how much it was, but it was like 4,000 that was left, and we gave that to the veterans.
Yes. James, can you check the PBC budget and see if we have, what we have in the donation line item? Or if we have funds available, we may just need to do a budget modification.
Okay, I'm checking.
Thank you. And would you say 1,000?
I think it's 1850, I can't remember.
Teen girls on here is 1,575.
Okay, yeah.
You know, in this letter from the Expo, Pawnee Nation is not even acknowledged in the tribes. Am I missing something? one, two, three, fourth paragraph down, the American Indian Exposition is a nonprofit.
And we haven't participated in years too. Pawnee Nation hasn't.
Yeah,
So,
we've been going, so
yeah,
I wonder why
so-
they didn't include us.
I don't know. That'd be a question to see how their organization works, because it says it's currently owned and shared by 14 tribes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 14 tribes listed. So I don't know if there's some kind of dues that have to be paid or.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
so that's
know.
probably why we're not listed.
it could be.
And our director is paying her dues this year. I think it's $100 for her to be a director. And so we'll be able to, hopefully next year, we'll be on that list.
Get
So,
back in.
yeah.
Okay.
So what I show is $18,800 has been spent, and it shows all the elders $100, the Veterans Day $1,000, the,
Okay, we just need to know the balance. Is there a
Okay.
balance?
yes, there is, there's 6,200.
Okay,
Okay.
so there are funds available. Any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to either approve or deny the 2024 American Indian Exposition donation in the amount of $1575.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Secretary Gardapi. Let's call for the vote.
Jordan Canuho,
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Right. Jamie, do you know if we have them as a vendor in our system? Okay. That takes us to item number 8, open forum. Do we have anything for open forum?
Noah, we were invited here tonight so that we could answer a bunch of questions and what have you about the MOU. We've never had the opportunity to talk to you all. When it was on the agenda last time, that was at a time when we were burying my mom, so I could not be here. And Jessie Sonny Evans presented that. She's the one that wrote it, but evidently there was a whole lot of questions and misconstrued notions as to who we were. So I apologize for that. Bad timing for us not being able to come. I couldn't hear your vote. You know, you didn't have your speakers on or something. I didn't know what the vote was. I had to text somebody else to find out what happened tonight. But I just, came here with the intent that I believe what we are doing as a nonprofit is a good thing. I want to see a future of working good together. After all, it's not about us, it's about our ancestral food and reintroducing that to our community. So Jamie did give you some handouts. And again, if you have questions, please come over and visit with us. You're all welcome to visit with us in person anytime. So tomorrow we get a load of buffalo meat coming in. So wish us luck in finding a place to put it in the freezer somewhere. We'll work on it. And because that's what I suppose is that the MOU didn't pass, so therefore we can't use the freezer, right? So, okay, got it. But regardless of this, I do want to say that it's been a real adventure to start a nonprofit, and I want to thank Brian Kirk, for leading us that way. He's the one that wrote our first application to learn how to be a nonprofit, and Brian's always given good support. We are still learning, and we have we're using a nonprofit attorney that's celebrating her 20 years of being a nonprofit, specialized in nonprofit attorneys. And the tribe doesn't have a lot of nonprofits going, right? And we'd like to see 20 nonprofits in the future, all filling the gaps of what your busy programs and it's amazing everything that you're setting out to embark on. You're doing economic development, and you're supporting youth dances, I guess. But if you'd like to have your new Attorney General get a 101 on, and on the nonprofit, our attorney, her name is Jerry Holmes, and at no charge, she'd be willing to sit down with the attorney. She'd be willing to sit down with the council, for some quick answers, Q&As. So that, I hope, that's something in our future that we can look at nonprofits. And even in our community downtown, there's not that many nonprofits besides the churches. So, we are a community-based organization, and so, we hope to be networking with the nonprofits down there, out across the bridge. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much, and I wish we would have had a dialogue. I did not realize that MOUs were done this way, but thank you.
So we have a couple of questions and statements online. Miss Lisa Morrell asked is there going to be any plans to fix the roads? I'm not quite sure which roads she's referring to, though. I did ask in the comments and have not got a response yet. And then Miss Ella Mae Black Owl, she's also on the line as well. She had wrote on the comments that that's really interesting. You make a motion to not do an MOU with the Pawnee Seed Preservation Society without any discussion. The last meeting, a lot of assumptions were made regarding the MOU, and Pawnee Seed Preservation Society was not there to hear input as well as answer your questions. You were supposed to meet with them last Monday, and that meeting was canceled. Last PBC meeting, you only heard from Ms. Evans, not any PSPS representatives, and she couldn't answer your questions about the MOU. This is very disappointing, and the Pawnee Seed Preservation Society is in attendance for today's meeting. Shameful. And then we had another question asked about what the MOU is. And that's all we have for the online questions.
The MOU that was being discussed was for the use of the storage freezers in the building that the current agricultural department is utilizing. It was for the existing freezers and then wanting to bring in shelving and have a designated area for them to utilize within the facility. There were questions as to access to the building, and the MOU wasn't structured in a way that it would, I guess, answer those questions. It was a little broad, but then it was further discussed about compensation, and then the use of the, who was going to monitor. I know that earlier on that there were issues regarding the food that was going to be stored, and there was issues where there was meat previously in there for the agricultural department, and I know that there was just a lot of different scenarios that it was just not feasible at this time for the council to approve that request, because we also have other programs that have needs, and we don't want to obligate this resource and then tie it up for a year or for however long. I don't, that was just the beginning or the initial discussion. There's other, questions that were brought forward. And so I think just in the long run, there was too many unknowns, and it wasn't, I guess like you'd say, there wasn't just a definitive cutoff time where we were going to have to be able to provide assistance, or where we felt that we would be obligated to provide assistance. We do realize the important work of the Pawnee Seed Preservation Society. And, I just like you had mentioned with Brian assisting, I know that, if we do have a meeting, or if you would like to meet, if there are needs that can be brought to the table before, because just like you mentioned, you have meat that's coming in now. And I don't know, I know that I was not aware of it. I don't know who else was aware of it, but it was already presumed that that was going to be the case, that you were going to have a place to store the meat. So, I feel bad about that, because yes, now we're going to have to, try to look for some place to get that meat stored until it's distributed, or I don't even know what the plan is, but that's kind of what's going along with a lot of the activities that we have with seed preservation, is that it comes to council, but it's like, we need it done now. We need this done, and then we have questions, but then there's already things that are set in motion. So I think that's kind of where I'm talking about, we want to be good stewards and assist those community organizations or the nonprofits, but it's got to there also has to be mutual respect too, to come and say, we have these needs, we have these events coming up. How can or can you assist us? It's almost as like it's not a request, and that's the difference. Is that Seed Preservation is a nonprofit organization. It's not under the nation's umbrella. So our priority is to our departments and our services. And agriculture department is just one of those services. We had, a storm where the generator was not functioning for food distribution. That's a backup. That was a backup for our plan too. So if we have things like that in place, we don't have anything for our programs to fall back on either. So I'm just giving you examples, and I know just what she had mentioned. A lot of this was not been, or has not been able to be put out because of the scheduling differences with our schedules and seed preservation. but just at this time, it's just not feasible or agreeable with us to approve that MOU at this time. So if we can, continue dialogue and see where we can assist in other areas, we're willing to do that. It's not just a, cut off, no, it's just, at this time, it's just not feasible for us. Anything else for open forum? Did you, Councilman Kimball, did you go to Standing Bear? I did. Okay, can we get a
Sure.
report on that?
Yes, thank you very much. I did go to Standing Bear as the representative for the Pawnee Nation. Had a great time there. We were able to donate a blanket that was given to the committee on Wednesday afternoon. I met with TL, who is the organizer. She's the chair of that program. And we had good representation from the Pawnee Nation there. Many were there. Donna was there. I got to see Donna dressed and dancing on Saturday evening. It was great. And everything was just really, really nice. It was, I think it was really successful. They had a lot of people, a lot of children, a lot of families from the Ponca City community and neighboring areas that are just there to look and browse and buy and what have you. It was very nice. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for that, and thank you for your representation, because I know even, like we're talking about with the American Indian Exposition, we try to participate, but we haven't been full participants, so thank you for that.
Of course. I was glad to do it.
Ms. Blackwell?
Hi, yes. Thank you, Council, for giving me a few minutes here. So I just wanted to say that I didn't make the last meeting. I watched the recording, and it was disappointing. And I know this vote has already been made, but I still want to say my support for the Seed Preservation Society. A lot of questions were asked by Carol and Sammy Kimball, and what's the tribe going to get? What, all these different things. And of course, Ms. Evans couldn't answer that. But, Carol had asked if the tribe gets seeds. The Seed Preservation Society has had seed checkout for tribal members, well, I could think for community members, but also for out-of-state members. If they have a garden, they can have seeds sent to them, because they're going to grow it. And we know all the harvests that have been done in Nebraska that have been brought back. Those corn husks were saved for, I think, the NAC, for the church to use. They had pumpkins that they brought down as well. Those were used for a class for pumpkin pie making, I believe, at the school. They have had, cooking classes. They've previously had community gardens. They had one down at Yellow Horse. That harvest went to to community members. Anyone that wanted that huge harvest that summer, it was like 2 or 3 years ago. They have always been giving to the nation. Meat, they've donated meat for dances. This past equinox dance last weekend, they donated roasted corn. A couple of you were there and you were able to enjoy that. I was there as well. I didn't make it to eat, but my sister Sharon Kay gave our family some, so we were able to receive that blessing, and I'm very thankful for that. There's a lot of things that they also donated, blue corn and a couple of other things last homecoming for the rations to the campers. There's a lot of things that they do and they provide for our people. It's not just take. And there wasn't a lot of clarification made with some of that MOU. And, when you were talking about the TDC and your business with them, Cindy, you mentioned communication. That communication wasn't made with the Seed Preservation Society. and regarding this MOU. And that's, and that's a shame. And yeah, maybe it's not doable right now, but if you knew the clarification and what exactly they were, the specific things that were in that wasn't clarified, then maybe that would have been different. And I understand, we have all these other programs that do things, all of our programs, they do such wonderful jobs, but, that's a shame. How many years ago was it when one of our, we have this freezer uptown at our Aero Stop, snack and pack, full of beer on that one side there, Why can't that be changed? Look at Oto, Missouri, their store up there now. They offer all sorts of things. They have groceries, they have, it's like a little grocery store now for their folks to go to. Why can't we have something like that in town at our stores? I don't understand why we're selling alcohol up there. Why can't that be changed? For something healthy, for something good for our people, for our community. But that's all I wanted to say, because like I said, I caught that meeting late. I was hoping to hear from them, and that was the first thing that happened. Motion was made to deny it. And with no communication, no discussion. And so that was disappointing to see. I understand. But thank you for your time, and thank you for all that you guys do. Have a good evening.
Just to add a little backstory to that too, this MOU also went to the Land and Ag committees, and they were participants in those committee meetings as well. So, I mean, there has been communication with them, and like I said, it's not just a straight, we can't assist you. Like I said, it's just not feasible at this time. Deb also, before the meeting, came and handed us some handouts that she had presented. I don't know if this was asked of her or not, but where they have, kept track of the donations that they have given to the nation and to the tribal members. So, we're not trying to downplay, the good that has been done, within the tribe and for our community. They participate in the farmers market as well uptown, just anything that they can do to try to get their products out there and get the products back within our nation and our community. So I don't want everyone to think that that's the case. And, like I said, it weighs heavily on me that, there are things that we're not able to do now. And yes, I get your point about, utilizing or maybe shifting some of our focus and making a lot of this some priorities, or, being able to assist them in looking for funding opportunities. They're a nonprofit. They're also eligible for grant writing as well, and maybe utilizing some of our resources. Like I said, what are the needs, of the program? Is it, I know lots of times too, when they come back from a harvest, they utilize the nation's facilities for that as well. So it's not like we don't contribute to them. It's just, some of the things that they're needing, we can't fulfill immediately. But that's why I'm saying, if it's communicated to us, we can be on the lookout for resources or try to assist them in other ways that maybe will lessen the burden so they can purchase freezers and those types of things. So that's what I have to say. I don't know if any other council members want to chime in, but I know it's tough, and it's tough to make those types of decisions. But, we just have to look at where the focus is at the time. And like I said, we had just had that storm, and, we had to have places too, so we don't have food loss as well. Anything else?
No, I would just like to thank you for reaching out and expressing yourself, LMA. For me, and I've said it several times, is that we have several nonprofits here. We also have small businesses here in town, tribal members that are actually caterers. They have businesses and such, and it would be nice to be able to afford everybody those privileges, but unfortunately, as our President Nuttall has mentioned, we are really focused on trying to drive our ag department right now. We do have a cattle operation. We are trying to get that marketed and start doing some type of sales in that area. And I also, during this last storm, had this thought. We had a lot of tribal members who lost a lot of their food, their meats and such, because they were without power for days. And it would be nice if we could figure out a program. Our EMS, our emergency management team is amazing. And it would be really awesome if we could maybe even, they could come pick up bags or boxes or what have you and put their meats in those boxes, tag them, bring them over to those freezers, and keep them there under that generator while we are without power in our homes. We have tried to accommodate as a council and leaders of this nation to help those here within the community that lost. It wasn't as much as we'd always like to do. Everything is so expensive, but we're trying to work around that and develop programs and processes to allow everybody equal, if you will, equal things. And it is a nonprofit. Unfortunately, they are not under the umbrella of the nation. So they have bought a building in town. I think it was called Miss Lily's or something like that. And I'm sure that once they get in there, maybe they'll figure out a better solution for themselves. I thank you for your time.
I would like to go ahead and respond to, I was the one who made the statement that we need to do better in communications, and I sincerely believe that in all the entities that we interact with. And I hope that we will revisit this because I do see the value of the Pawnee Seed Preservation Society, and I would like for us to be able to sit down and talk about it and work things out. Thank you.
So we have one more online question from Miss Michelle Rice Reed. It says, why didn't you meet to discuss with the Pawnee Seed Preservation Society what is being stored in the freezer and what is agriculture providing monetarily for the freezer space?
Thank you. There was a continuing resolution that was passed on Thursday, so I want to thank you all for adjusting your schedule to meet. The next meeting date will be October the 8th, and that will get us back on the the alternate Tuesdays.
Oh, well, we're not meeting tomorrow, so I just figured.
Okay, it's the 15th, to clarify. So October the 15th, next meeting date at 5:30 p.m. Item number 10, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Secretary Gardapi. Let's call for the vote.
Jordan Canugo?
Yes.
George Gardapi, yes. Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Harry?
Oh.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, we are adjourned at 7:10 PM.